Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to July 2nd. This is Thursday. This is the last trading day for the week. So as we head into tomorrow, Friday is July 3rd, which is a holiday for the July 4th holiday as far as the stock market is concerned, and the market will reopen on Monday. So the last trading day of the week is today. Yesterday was kind of a mixed day. Today, everything is coming up green right now, but it's not jobs time yet. It comes out in just a few more minutes. That could have a big impact on what we're seeing on the futures this morning. Again, I want to thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate you tuning in each and every day. And hey, look, if you have questions that you'd like to get some answers on, give us a call at 863-382-0037. Drop us an email at team@sfsretirement.com. That's team, TEAM at sfsretirement.com. And we can get some answers back out to you, or we'll talk to you about them on the show over the weekend. So, hey, have a hopefully a great weekend coming up as we get ready to talk to Dave here in just a few moments.
Glad FM Modern English there. I'm Modern Dave here. I truly am modern. I promise I threw my bell bottoms out years ago. It's 8:39, 21 now before 9. Time to check in on money and find out what Wall Street's doing this morning. And boy, it's party time all of a sudden. The jobs picture's getting a little bit better. Let's go down to the offices of Statler Financial Services and see Phillip Statler, who's got all the up-to-the-minute data, and real pleasant surprise on the unemployment picture today, wasn't it, Phillip?
Man, a huge surprise. You know, we had job increases of 4.8 million in June, and depending upon whose numbers you looked at, they expected somewhere between 2.9 and 3.5 million new jobs. So that was a great beat on new job increases. That puts our unemployment rate, Dave, down to 11.1%. I say down, that doesn't sound good, right? But it was expected to be over 12%.
Yeah, I was going to say 11.1%, and any other day would probably be an oh no. But yeah, it's a major pleasant surprise. 4.8 million jobs. We always have to throw a fly into every bowl of oatmeal. One needs to remember here that the unemployment job count comes from mid-month to mid-month. So we basically are measuring up to about the 15th of June here. This doesn't include the employment changes that took place as some states started cutting back on their opening efforts, and we got a little bit of an unpleasant surprise on first-time jobless claims this morning, and we can get to that in a minute. But boy, when you beat what the experts were saying by over 1 million jobs, I got to believe the futures markets are going crazy early on, aren't they?
Yes, sir. They sure are, man. They have spiked up tremendously. And now the question will be how much news does it take to make it come back down? And that'll be the key as we head in today, because there's other things. I mean, we're talking about jobs right now, and you're right. First time claims was a little bit more than expected. I mean, it came in at 1.4 million. They expected a little over 1.3 million. So a few more unemployed people last week. And I think that number to me will continue to rise as we see the numbers of COVID cases continue to rise. That means governments are starting to come back in and shut down places. I've read several reports. California, there's a lot of places in California. They've closed in restaurant dining. They're closing the bars like they are here. They've closed the wineries. They closed a lot of things out there. And so as we continue to see that, you know, people have used up their payroll protection plan money. So now if they're not having revenue coming in, they're going to have to lay people off to be able to sustain their business.
Yeah, California stopped one step shy of another stay-at-home order. They really did have a blanket shutdown. Texas and Florida pretty much in the shut down the bar numbers, and what we ended up doing was essentially, I'm betting that of that 1.3 million we saw 1.43 million we saw last week, that probably was tip of the iceberg, the hospitality workers who lost their jobs on the bar shutdowns. But California is not going to make the number look very pretty next week, is it?
No, they're really not. And you've got other states, too, that are starting to jump on that bandwagon, Dave.
Understood. The good news to buoy some of that up is businesses that didn't do a payroll protection loan with the last wave. Yesterday, the Senate and the House basically unanimously passed an extension of the payroll protection program. So businesses out in California, Texas, and maybe even Florida as well that didn't take advantage of it once, now at the very least have an extended opportunity until I think the end of August, isn't it?
Well, it's actually the first week of August. It's like August 8th. I'm not sure how they arrived at that
Okay.
number, but or until they run out of money. So there's, I think, um, $130 billion left to put out in the payroll protection plan. So we'll have to see how that works. Basically, you got a little over a month to make application for that.
Yeah, that extension might soften the blow a little bit for the businesses that didn't take the loans beforehand. But still, that having been said, as you've been warning all along, we're looking at the notion of a lot of those PPP loans included a guarantee to keep the payroll going, and that window of opportunity that you had to make the guarantee is running out as we go by week by week by week. And that's not a pleasant thought for the added unemployment numbers that we could see in the out weeks and into July.
You're right, Dave. The other thing that I saw yesterday was some government layoffs coming. I can't remember which state or which locale it was, but it was a significant number, like 3,800 to 5,000 layoffs coming on the government side. And that'll just be the start that we'll see from the government side. As tax revenue continues to decline, they're not going to have the money to continue to pay people without that tax revenue coming in. And let's face it, there's a lot of states that are on the financial cusp of having issues anyway.
Absolutely. We're among the healthier states in Florida, but we're in that group of states that doesn't have the income tax withholding money from the people still employed coming in. We depend so heavily on sales taxes, and oh gosh, we basically shut the state down for a month and a half in there. So states that are in good financial shape like ours that depend on revenue from consumption taxes are in trouble, and then states like Illinois and New York that are, let's say, kind of on a cusp to begin with, they're seeing other shortfalls. I mean, this is pretty close to a 50-state hassle that's going to be happening over the next few months on government employees.
It will. They've been able to weather it so far, but I think as this thing continues to go out, as the Fed has said, the minutes that came out yesterday, there's some verbiage in there that raises some big concerns on their front as to whether or not we won't run into a quote second recession, which I'm thinking we're still in the first recession right now, Dave.
I can't tell the difference myself. Can you?
No, but they say that there's a huge disconnect right now between the stock market and the economy, and they are definitely polar opposites right now.
I didn't see a major change on the indexes yesterday about the time the Fed minutes came out, and I didn't get a chance to really look for an article that said anything. I heard you say they're warning of the possibility of a recession. Was there anything earth-shaking in those minutes at all yesterday?
Well, other than that, no. They are concerned that it goes against their original thought pattern, which was that we would gradually come out of this with some gradual economic growth. And now they've got basically two legs, right? One is that leg, maybe we go that way. The other leg is, hey, if these numbers continue to go up, then we could see another downturn in the economy and not the gradual growth that they had called for.
Okay, they basically fell into the same mold that we do, talking epidemiology almost as much as finances, right?
Yeah, there is really, and there's a disconnect between the economy and the stock market right now.
Understood. The usual thing that you and I have been dealing with as well, wondering what on Sam Hill is going to be the eventual move the way we go. The other economic indication that came out this morning, which once again the market is going to shrug off, but I consider this actually good news for the short term because it indicates consumer activity. Our trade deficit was unexpectedly up last month, meaning we're still buying things like drunken sailors, which is a relatively good bit of news for a consumer-driven economy, so I'll let it sit at that.
Yeah, that's true. That was, from that standpoint, I guess in normal circumstances, you and I wouldn't be thinking that was a good thing, but based on where we are right now, that probably is.
Yeah, anything that involves us buying junk probably qualifies as good news these days because that keeps, at the very least, the importers busy at the very least. Again, a major surprise on the unemployment front, an 11.1% unemployment rate, which would be Armageddon in any other time, but it was a pleasant surprise this time around, and like a beat by 50% number as far as new jobs created. We can almost take the unemployment first-time claims out the window. That mixed day yesterday on Wall Street, Dow down by about 78 points, NASDAQ up by about 95, and the Standard & Poor's up by 15.5. Looks kind of boring. 45 minutes before we open this morning, Phillip, what are we looking at?
Man, we made a huge jump when those numbers came out for the jobs numbers came out. I mean, we more than doubled the Dow. We're up
Wow.
1.6% right now on the Dow. The S&P 500 is up 1.25. The Nasdaq's up 1%. So we're boldly green this morning before the market gets ready to open up this morning. And because of that, we've got gold and silver actually trading down this morning. Silver's down 0.5%, gold's down 1/3%. Crude oil's heading up today, Dave, up 0.8% to $40.15 a barrel.
I was kind of surprised that I saw the over 40 number. It'd be kind of nice if we could stay just north of 40 for a couple of weeks and establish a new trading range, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it really would. It would be nice to see that.
We'll take that happily. Green ink for the most part on overseas markets. The Asian markets were up a little bit. Hong Kong, I'm not sure what prompted it, but they were up by almost 3% at the close this morning. European markets up a little bit more modestly than that, but still green ink over there as they work their way through their trading day. We're coming up on a holiday weekend. Declaring independence counts for a lot, but the best way to do that is to make sure you're financially independent no matter what happens to the economy. Phillip, how do I get a hold of you to help my retirement account achieve that?
Absolutely, Dave. Today is the last trading day of the week. Tomorrow's a holiday, and so, but it's a great opportunity to take a look and get an opinion, second opinion on your current portfolio. Give us a call at 863-382-0037. Catch us online at statlerfinancialservices.com, and then follow us every weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on Highlands News Talk 730.
Which will happen streaming online as well at newstalk730am.com because the markets will be closed. Phillip, I get to wish you a happy 4th of July weekend this morning.
Absolutely, Dave. Now, hey, we'll be gone this weekend. I won't be back in the office until Wednesday. Monday is adoption day for us, and we're heading to Tennessee to see our new grandbaby's adoption day finalized. So we're excited about that.
That's a standing ovation you're hearing in the background there. Blessed 4th of July, safe travels, and congratulations to your family, sir, and we'll catch you next week, all right?
All right, thanks, Dave. You have a great holiday.
Thank you so much. A happy 4th to you as well. We will be here tomorrow to tell you what's going on across the pond in the other markets and any economic news that comes up, and here next week as well. Phillip Statler's here every day, almost, here on Light FM, and we'll be back tomorrow. Wait and see. You know, when you can't predict.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us. Hey, have a happy 4th of July. Remember what it means, the independence of our country. And let's have a safe holiday. I look forward to speaking to you when I get back in the office on Wednesday. Have a great holiday. I'll talk to you then. Bye now.